Hey guys, what is up? It's Rambutter here, and today we're going to be playing some State of Decay 2. I play this game a lot, I have a lot of fun with it, but I kind of want to give a little bit of a tutorial, but also a playthrough. The main goal here is I just want a community that's going to carry on through multiple maps kind of thing, so that you guys can see. To me, that's my favorite part of the game. That's the end game, is just moving on to another map, and it kind of restarts you, but you get to bring a little bit of stuff with you. On the main menu here, for those new players, you have three different modes here. You have Campaign, Heartland, and Daybreak. Campaign is the main game. That's where most of the action is for me. Personally, I have not played Heartland, but it seems to be more story driven, is from my understanding, than it is just playing the game the way the game was built to be played. Daybreak is kind of like a survive these waves. You get some bonuses that carry over into the campaign. I can kind of go in here, take a look at this, the collection here. You can see there's things to unlock. I haven't unlocked everything yet. Daybreak can get boring if you're just trying to grind out the Daybreak points and stuff, so I haven't unlocked everything yet. For me, the main part is in the game itself. There's all sorts of different things here you can unlock. You can unlock more explosives, you can unlock more guns, more melee weapons, all sorts of stuff here. And you can see there's two different options here. You have State of Decay 2 Daybreak, and then just normal State of Decay. So you unlock them in Daybreak, and then you start unlocking them for the actual State of Decay 2. You can get everything from, modifications, facility mod, crafting item. It's a prefab for a bunker room. There's different buildings you can add into your game, that sort of thing. And then consumables, explosives. I think all of them are explosives. I mean, judging by this, I'm guessing they're all going to be explosives. Ranged weapons. They all take the special Clio ammo packs until you start getting into... Actually, I think all of the unlocks take the Clio ammo packs. I don't know what these ones are yet, but we still gotta try and figure those out eventually. And then you got the melee weapons, and I will say the melee weapons are really good. I like the Clio long blade, super fun. It's fast, dismembers, doesn't do a lot of damage, but taking their arms off makes them almost useless. The battle axe is pretty fun as well. It does a little bit more damage, but still has quite a bit of speed, as you can see. It's got some knockdown, but we're getting sidetracked. Let's stick to the main thing here. So, campaign. Go into campaign. You may not have communities. You may have communities. As you can see here, I got 3 different ones set up. 2 are on Nightmare Zone. One of them Standard Zone. For now, I'm going to plop us in this last spot. I'm going to skip the tutorial just because I played it a lot, and play the tutorial if you're new. I think it forces you to anyways. It's been a while since I've done it, but it's definitely worth checking out. So, difficulty wise, we got a few different options here. We have green, standard, dread, nightmare, lethal. Green is really, really simple. Like, green is... I've never played green, but from what I hear, it is like you're not really playing in a zombie apocalypse. You're rainbows and sunshines running around, just looting up and kill the zombie here and there kind of thing. If you're really new and you don't play games a lot, this is a great option for you. I think everyone who's played games and is used to how games work and understands the main function of games, I think standard is, well, it's standard. So I think that's kind of, that's where a lot of my first learning how to play the game started. I've done quite a few playthroughs of standard mode. Dread is a little bit harder than standard. I don't think it adds enough challenge though. I kind of blew through some dread gameplays. I think I skip now. I don't even go from standard to dread. I go straight to nightmare. I have yet to play lethal, but I feel like nightmare is it. Lethal is pretty intense. Nightmare is pretty intense. I don't see myself going any further than nightmare and having it still be an enjoyable game. It just gets to be too much sometimes. You can do your custom settings too. So you can say, I want the action difficulty to, let's say, be green. I want the community difficulty. I can handle dread on that. Right. Map difficulty, which is where your resources, well, you can see here on the right side, resources, gear and vehicles, and blood plague. And you can see as more plague hearts, the further up you go, things get a little bit harder to find. So if you do decide you're going to do custom, whatever your lowest setting is at, that's what it counts your difficulty at. So if you're going to do your action difficulty in green, this is a green playthrough. Personally, I'm just going to keep it here. You know, it's no sense of increasing one of these difficulties unless you're really just chilling out, playing the game, not too worried about completing everything and moving on to those end game where you're going into a new area and stuff. Then yeah, go ahead and play around with these. Personally, I just keep them at one certain difficulty. There's no sense in making anything harder. You know, if I want to play a standard playthrough, there's no sense of having the map difficulty on lethal or the action difficulty on lethal. And then again, if I go down, I just go down to the lowest setting. So I just keep them all at the same spot. I could see, you know, I don't want to deal with too many zombies, but I don't want to just find all this stuff easily. So I could see doing like lethal here, and then community difficulty, I can step it up a little bit. I can see that if you're just chill, casual playing the game. But for me personally, no sense in making it harder than it already is. So we're gonna go with that. Now, we got quite a few different maps here. I believe the first map it forces you into is Tremble Valley. You don't have to play through it. You can simply pull yourself off of it, make a new community, and just kind of restart, which personally I recommend. I'll explain it a little bit more, why I like doing that. But I've played through, let's see, I played through a couple of times here, but it says times communities visited this map 0, which is goofy, even though I have one on the map right now. Or maybe it's times they continued through that playthrough. I don't know, because all these are 0, but I've had communities go through it, so that's goofy. Pretty simple here. So Tremble is kind of the starting map. It's not a bad map to play through by any means, but if you're really set on one of these other maps, just make a new community once you do the tutorial and put them in the map you want to be in. It's Tremble starter map. You can see on the right all the different home sites. Your best bet is look it up. You can see the layouts for each one of these. I'll try and find a link to drop down in the description, or you can just pull up and it'll give you the breakdown of the different sizes and stuff. There are different sizes of bases that give you more spots to put in facilities that you can build up to make your base a little bit better and get some bonuses from it. So it can be important, but for the most part, they all kind of have the same idea of bases. They're all kind of, you know, you got your beginner bases, you got your mid-tier bases, and then you have your end game bases before you move on to the next map. So nothing crazy out of the ordinary. The next map is Providence Ridge. This is my favorite map personally. I feel like it's the biggest change in scenery from the other maps, and I come from a small logging town, so this is what this map is. This map is just my hometown to me. Kind of a logging town. You have the lumber mill is one of the big bases there. Super fun map. It's a lot more spread out. There's not as much to loot, which I think is a little fun, but that's my favorite personally. Next you have Cascade Hills. It's been a minute since I played Cascade Hills. I just gotta remember, Bridgefort. I think my second playthrough I did Trumbull, and then my second playthrough I did Cascade Hills, and I haven't returned. It wasn't that it was a bad map, it's just there's a lot of maps on this one to explore. The bridge fort is an awesome second base on this map. The container fort's a really awesome base. For me, the bases I really liked here, I think when I played through, I went from the Justina house, which is the one you start at, to the bridge fort, to the corner office, to the container fort. It's a pretty cool map. There's some cool bases here that are very creative compared to the typical, like the lumber mill. That would be kind of, it's just a big warehouse. Let's see, this one, the farmland compound, is really just a farm. It's a cool base though. I love that base. It's one of my favorites. It's simple, but sometimes simple is better. Next up we have Meager Valley. Again, it's been a minute since I played Meager Valley. It's cool. It's got a big river going through the middle of it. Sometimes on this map I end up in bad luck. There's some cool bases. The church is really cool. I'm pretty sure there's a bell in the tower, and you can automatically start a raid at the base by ringing the bell. And then from there you get to just take out waves of zombies kind of thing. So that's pretty cool. The police station is pretty cool. I don't think I've completed a full playthrough in Meager Valley though. I see I have a community on that map, so it may be one of those things I just haven't finished yet. Next is Drucker County. It's been a really long time since I played this one, but it has some cool bases. There's the barricaded strip mall. It's got a ton of space there. There's the Wheelhouse truck stop. That's a pretty cool base. As for the beginner ones, I think on this one I totally skipped the Wally's Bar and Grill and the Cabin Park Motel and just went straight into the truck stop, and then from the truck stop to the strip mall. Mike's Concrete is a nice, cool, big open warehouse too, so that's kind of nice. But it's not very unique like some of these ones on Cascade Hills. Cascade Hills, I think, has the most unique bases. Like the lumber mill here and the Mike's Concrete here are almost the same building. But for this playthrough, I don't want any biased, so we're just going to do a random map, see where that gets us. Now, once we get to the next page, it's going to have us pick our characters. There's two ways you can do it. Oh, sorry. First, it's going to ask, I've completed one nightmare already as a builder. I think I've completed a couple as a builder, but I just kind of, actually no, because I think it gives you ×1, ×2, whatever, once you get more than one. So I haven't played a whole lot of Nightmare, starting to get into it, but for now, I don't want to start with any bonuses. I just want to play raw for this playthrough, as simple as can be. So when you get in here, you have 3 different survivors you get to start with. Me personally, I'm just going to do random, and I'm going to leave it at that. Now, I may just to show you, I'll do random here, random here. I'm going to start with 3, just to show you. I really don't want to lose this guy. He's got some high health. He's a warlord, which I think is who we might do our playthrough with. Trader, builder. We're gonna re-roll this guy, even though he's kind of the worst one here. I just want to see if it'll let me go back. But you can see here we have only 4 skills for this guy. These guys have 5 skills, but those 5th skills for them are different. So you have different skills that do different things and kind of help you craft different things, help your community have different amenities, that kind of thing. And so if you're playing through and you want to give yourself the best start, if you hit right trigger, you can go next. Okay, it does let me go back. So we're going to go back to him, but you can go next and you can just kind of keep going for quite some time and kind of roll until you get the character you really want. This guy would be cool, but I don't want to cheat. We're going with this guy. So when you're at this page, if you really want to give yourself the best start you possibly can, really pick, like I spend a ton of time on this page when I'm just trying to make sure I have the best start. But sometimes it's fun doing what I'm doing, just picking random and seeing where it goes. Now you saw if I remove this, I really don't want to, but I'm going to. So if I remove this guy, I have an option to recruit. If I go into recruit, you can see here, these are all the characters I've completed with and gone to a new map on. So I can take one of these characters with me, and I could take 3 of them if I wanted to, but I could take one of these characters with me to fill that spot. But of course, I don't want to do that. I don't want to, not trying to give myself a big head start. We're trying to do this raw. So we're going to do random again. At least it's a sheriff in case this guy passes away, but not the best skill set there, but it does start with high wits, which is good. In fact, that's the highest base stat right here, so that's okay. I'll take it. So you can see the stars, and you may have noticed on that last screen I have some with previous. Oh, okay, cool. This is the one we had earlier. Is it? No, because they didn't have any. They didn't have that 3rd skill. It's nice having one without that 5th skill, because then you can add in the skill later on if you need to. I think it was this one. So we're gonna stick with that because that's where we were. I don't know why it gave me a previous option. Now it's not. But not having a 5th skill is also a bonus. You find books where you can teach these characters that 5th skill, and that's nice because then you can kind of pick whatever skill you want for them. The stars, you want to get the stars all the way full. Once you get the stars all the way full, you can upgrade a skill. It'll give you an option of just a random set of bonuses that you can add on to your character, and that way, you can level up those skills again. Some of them you can't though. Some of them, once you have that skill, you're stuck on that skill. So just bear in mind with it. It's one of those things, you're just kind of constantly working on your characters, swapping between them. I'll kind of show you how the hero system works, I guess you could call it. Oh, look at this. Where are we? We're on my favorite map. That's a great start. Okay. I hate the starting base here. We're gonna skip this. Just get right into it. I don't want to spend too much time getting started here. Basically, every time you spawn in, so you got your 3 people here. You can see there's a horde of zombies already over there. We got our 3 people here. This one's really nice because the car starts really close to your base. I'm gonna take everything out of the trunk. Gonna give that to that guy. These are rucksacks. For those of you who don't know, you can only carry 1 rucksack per character. So you want to make sure having a. Oh lordy! Oh no! This is a feral. This is my least favorite freak zombie. Freak zombies are special zombies. You have ferals, bloaters, and let's see, ferals, bloaters, screamers, and juggernauts. Feral's my least favorite. They're so hard to deal with. But we're gonna come up here. The base is up this way. This is where the starting base is. Oh, look at that. We already have, so this is another group of people on the map. Sorry, I saw the mini map in the bottom left corner. There's a little green mark. But this is another group of survivors. You can go talk to them. You can trade with them. You can recruit them. You can kill them. You can do really whatever you want to do there. Sometimes, like if you want to recruit someone or trade with them, sometimes you have to help them out enough to the point where they allow you to trade with them and recruit them, but usually it's not too difficult. Not a terrible starter base. You have this cool tower here, which is pretty unique to this base, but you can hold 4 people here, and realistically, when those 4 are up, oh my lord, coming out swinging. But yeah, not a crazy big starter base. You can see these little orange square rectangle things here. These are plots that you can put different facilities in. Each facility is going to have a storage area. That's what this is here. It doesn't show it yet. It'll just pop up here. You got your stash box, which for this base, once I claim it, it'll appear right here. Right here it gives you a breakdown. If you find a new base and you want to look at it, this is kind of how you get an idea of whether you want this base or not. It says total of 8 slots on this base. I don't think this has 8 slots. I'll double check that though, but I'm pretty sure it just has these 2 slots unless they're counting the things that are already added in. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That still only adds up to 6. Maybe that's total. Maybe that's the biggest base has a total of 8 slots. But anyways, we're gonna claim this. Confirm. You'll see our little stash box will pop up right where we just were. So this is our stash box. You go in here, or supply locker they're calling it, and you can deposit your stuff in here. We don't start with a whole lot here, but we get some stuff, so that's nice. Now, just take a look here. This is our community screen. So it looks like we have a guy started out hurt. I'm just going to kind of show you the breakdown here. So 126 out of 146. So yeah, he's beat up already. That's okay. This is your main stats here. So your health, stamina, and moral is all displayed here, and any status effects. So you can see we have the -5 dislocated shoulder, -14 for damage taken. It tells you what you need to do to get rid of those negative effects. And then stamina, it'll show up the same way. You can get negative effects on stamina. And then moral, we can see here, he's got a +4 right now because we killed a feral. He's got a +2 because of Sardi, because she has the music skill. -15 traumatized survivors. That's a permanent thing on lethal mode. It's not something you can just get rid of. This is your community standing. This is the biggest thing for me when I have characters that I don't like playing. At least get them to hero bonus, because you can see this guy gives a +1 food per day. Those go a long ways, especially on lethal, especially on the harder difficulties. That goes a long ways. His leadership is Warlord. This is the guy we're probably going to be playing on the most because we need to get him to that leadership status so we can start the Warlord quest line. Different traits. So each character has a set of traits. Some are negative, some are positive. For this guy, they're negative, or positive, sorry. Roadkill cook. That's where he gets his cooking skill from. High pain threshold is where you see typically you'll be 100 out of 100 on both of stamina and health. You can see he's at 146. You cannot increase that without the traits. The traits are the things that increase your health and stamina. So when you're rolling for your characters, if you're not getting the skills you like, look for those higher health and stamina. So +30 max health, +50% fighting experience. So that's why he's probably already at 4 stars in fighting, and it's gonna go up quick. So I stand corrected. Current level is +16 max health. So with fighting, it looks like you also increase your max health. Wits increases your search speed. Cardio, I would like to say, yeah, it says it improves your stamina, so I'm guessing that'll increase the stamina. Shooting, handling of the firearms, how quickly you reload, how quickly you aim down sights, how much sway you have when you're aiming down sights, all that's factored into this. And then the bonus skill, cooking, you can see here, unlocks Kitchen 2 and allows preparation of feasts. There's also other recipes and stuff you can make so that you can improve. I don't think cooking is a good one to show. What's this guy's skill? Gardening. Opens up the garden, improves the yield, improves the grow time. Let's see. It looks like it gives you the ability to grow meds at the gardens and farms, which is huge. Finding meds can be a pain sometimes. There's not a lot of hospitals in the game. Things that increase your stockpile, which I'll show you right here. This is your stockpile. Pizza is food, plus is medical, bullets is ammo, lumber is building materials, and the gas can is gas. So any of these skill or traits that increase it is huge. Any of the skills that you can use to produce more is huge. Now there are a few skills that I prefer over some of the skills that don't really increase that but help you out in other aspects. I really like the driver and mechanic skills. Helps keep your cars running, helps you not use as much gas. Really awesome skills to have. I love when I have the character I want to play as a driver. It's huge. That's huge for me. I love driving. I'm a car guy, so automatically, of course, I want to be in all the cool cars and want to get the best fuel mileage so I can drive them more. Helps with the damage you deal to the cars, because you can get dealt damage on the cars. Just kind of an all-around. For me, that's my play style. But if you're a normal player and that's not your big focus, like sometimes on these lethal ones, you're without a car for a long time, so it's like not that important of a skill at the beginning. It's better off later on down the road once you got yourself more built up on the harder difficulties. So our skill sets are not bad. They're pretty good. Music is an interesting one. Gives some morale boost, which is, it's nice. It's not terrible. It's nice. Morale boosts. I don't seem to be affected by them as much, but I also don't let it get down too low. From my understanding, if it gets down too low, you can have members leave your community, so definitely don't want that. But again, I haven't had it affect me. I've never lost a character to them leaving the community. It just hasn't been an issue with me before, but this is nice. 100% standing rewards, which is essentially this. So this character is going to get double standing rewards, which is nice. 25 influence a day is big. Influence is your currency. Knowledge of the arts, not too sure exactly what that does, if I'm being honest. I'll try and put a link down below where it gives you a breakdown of all the different skills and stuff, and it kind of tells you this is what this skill does, because there are some skills inside of skills, which is knowledge of the arts. I have no idea what that does, but I know out there's a site that we can go to and it'll give us that information. Going back to the base screen, again, pretty simple. Left side resources, right side resources. So you have parts, you have influence, you have prestige. Influence and prestige are the two currencies. Prestige is what you get out of Daybreak. Influence is what you get in the normal game. Influence and prestige kind of has its own shop you spend it on. Influence is pretty much everything else. So influence is what you use to recruit new people, to trade with other communities. There's wandering traders you can buy stuff from, sort of things like that. So having a lot of influence is nice. It's not amazing, but it's nice. Community, or population of 3. Available labor, 3 out of 3. We don't have anything they're working on right now, so we got 3 people available. Even if you leave with the character, your characters aren't locked in. Your characters don't actually do it. Like, you can have 3 of 3 going and you can be gone with one of those 3, or even all 3 of them, and those things will keep building. We have 1 available bed left, so that's one of the big boosts of this base. In the watchtower, it comes with 4 beds, so plus 4 beds there. So we got an extra bed, which is nice. That's the next step to the next base. Basically, you got to have a certain amount of people to occupy certain bases, along with enough renown to unlock that base. So having that extra bed is already a big plus. We can go recruit someone and not have to worry about somewhere for them to sleep. Now you can have more people than beds. It's a big morale debuff though, so you want to try and stay away from that. Next is the moral. Right now we're -9, which is not bad. Like I said, we're -15 permanent nightmare community difficulty. That's just how it is. It's always going to be -15 there. Can't get away from it. We had a recent kill of a feral. That freak we just killed there at the beginning, so we got a +4 boost from that. And then the +2 from Sardi's music bonus. So we get +2 from that. Those are our moral bonuses right now. We'll get more, we'll lose some, we'll gain some. It kind of bounces around. Getting +100 is probably impossible on Nightmare, so don't worry about trying to get 100. Just keep it out of that -100, and for the most part, you're pretty much fine. Right now, we don't have any moral level effects, so we're good there. That stinks. We're -14, but we have +2, and we're -15 there. So I don't know if the math is mathing up here for you guys or not, but it's not for me. Effects. Kind of an overview of everything going on with your base. So you can see the bonus knowledge we have. Those bonus knowledge is for whatever extra facilities. Kind of gives you an idea of these are the facilities we can add to our base. So knowledge of cooking, knowledge of garden, or knowledge of arts. So I'm guessing knowledge of arts has something to do with building a certain facility. Temporary resource storage. You get a boost in your resources, so you can't overflow your resources for a hot minute, so that way you can build up your base again. Because sometimes you get into a base, you don't have enough storage to keep all your stuff there, so you have that time frame to basically spend those resources on building up your new base is the idea. Obviously here, it doesn't really matter. We aren't swapping bases. We don't have the resources to build up our base to make that useful right now. With the infirmary, quicker resting, quicker HP recovery. It's a big, huge thing. Always have an infirmary. I'll show you why when we kind of click into the infirmary and show you what that's about. Resting infection recovery, again, infirmary, which is the big reason you want an infirmary. The infection is the plague. Once you get the plague, you're infected. You kind of can't get rid of it without the infirmary or a plague cure. Base and facilities, we get +2 outpost limit. Every base starts with 2. Some of them start with 3, but you can always increase that by upgrading different parts. Right now we have a build action speed for another 3 minutes, 500% build speed. That's a big bonus. I believe that goes along with when you move into a new base as well. Noise level, we're tranquil, we're at a 3. We're good. The command center adds some passive noise. Basically, if you get to 20, you're going to get waves of zombies coming at your base all the freaking time. So, don't want to do that. Siege threat, kind of read it there. As infestations grow and spread, some become siege sites that directly threaten our base. We're not in any serious danger because right now we don't know if any sort of I'm spacing now. Infestations. We don't know of any right now, so we're not a threat. But essentially, you'll find a building that'll be green. That means it's infected or infested. You basically got to either take out the infestation or it grows and will spread to houses around the map, and eventually all the infestations will try and raid your base. So you'll get a ton of waves coming at your base. So it's kind of one of those things. Do you want to deal with all of them at once, or go out, take them out one at a time kind of thing? Did our neighbors disappear? That is goofy. I don't know where they went, but I'm sure they're still over there. We just got to go over there and look at them. So, once you've set up a new base, I already got an infirmary here. That's always my first thing. Put in an infirmary. Let me check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 slots here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so there's 8 slots here. They count the parking, they count the storage, and they count the command center, which every base has those. So I didn't think they counted those as slots or not, but I guess they do. Let's say you don't want the infirmary. Again, always have an infirmary, but you can take it out, put something else there. Outdoor spaces. I do not recommend outdoor spaces being anything but like workshops. An outdoor kitchen is fine, but I wouldn't do outdoor beds. You get a morale debuff for it. Infirmary is fine outdoor. You know, beds is the biggest one. Just make sure it's indoor. That's a ton of your bonus there. Gets knocked off because of that morale penalty. But we'll eventually go over what each one of these facilities do. You can kind of see the breakdown. Crafting and building is here. Health and sleep here. Resource production here, which realistically a lot of these do resource production too. Moral and training here, so you can build like the shooting range and increase your character's shooting, train your fighting up, morale boost also includes 1 bed, so that's nice. Defense and utilities, pretty straightforward. Watchtower is cool. You have a guy sit up there, helps keep the base more secure. But I believe with the watchtower you can radio in and have them take out zombies for you. So if you're in a bad spot, that's a huge plus. Rain collector is a big plus. Mainly a morale boost, but adding water gives you access to crops, farms. You need to have water to run those, so it's one of those kind of like supporting base things you can have on there. Generator gives you base-wide power and is again kind of a supporting thing. I thought the lounge required power. I know there's some of these that'll require power. I believe like the auto shop. Not even that requires power. I know there's some things that require power. It might be the mods that require power, and we'll get to the mods here in a second. Oh, this requires power. I know there's some more stuff that requires power. Solar array, again, power, and it's silent, so this is a big one. If you can afford it, do this over this. Generator's loud, so it kind of has a higher chance of bringing things into your base. And then you have the Haven device, which is everything to do with the Cleo stuff from Daybreak, the waves of zombies you'll try and take out. So that's a good one to have. I haven't had it before. I'm not entirely sure what it does. From my understanding, basically you can call in Cleo with it when your base is being raided by zombies, and it'll help take out those zombies. But you need a Haven capsule, which you can only get, from my understanding, you can only get from Daybreak. So you gotta unlock it from Daybreak, carry it out into this game. The leader project. So we kind of talked about I wanted to be a warlord. You also, so it doesn't just give you a storyline or those boons that give you bonuses when you finish the game, which I didn't go over very well. I'll go over some more in a second. So you also get a leader project, and you can only do one, because you can only have one leader at a time. It's not like you have to complete the game and then put this up. You can put this up whenever, as long as you have a leader assigned. So if you get rid of your leader, you have to tear it down to put up the new leader's base spot. These are all outdoor. They all take a large slot. They all have different bonuses. So Armory, which is the one we'll most likely be using, is basically an increased workshop. It focuses more on guns and stuff, but When you have an armory, you don't have to do a workshop anymore. Anything you can craft in the workshop, you can craft in the armory. Sniper tower is a really nice one. Another defense thing, kind of like the guard tower. And I think this is the one where I was thinking about you radio it in and they shoot out, they'll take out all the zombies around you. Field hospital is nice. This is the sheriff one. Basically an improved infirmary. Significantly improved, decreases times, adds more you can craft, and I think you use less resources when you craft it. You can also use it to produce meds, which is super nice. And I believe like this one, I believe you can produce ammo for a resource stockpile. This one's mainly for taking infestation growth. And then the trade depot, pretty simple. Summon any trader over the radio. To me, the trader is my least favorite hero to lock out with. I'll explain his bonuses in a minute. The rest of these are the daybreak facilities. You have to have the prefab, so you gotta call in the daybreak trader, and then you can build these. They're basically other facilities on crack. So the workshop is way better. Free passive repairs, so you put your stuff in your base, automatically repairs it, which is huge. Build a red talon bunk room, 5 beds and 1 small plot is huge. It does have a morale penalty, but for 5 beds for 1 small plot, that's a big bonus. The red talon watchtower, again, small slot, outdoor, 3 guards instead of the 1 for the normal guard tower. It rocks. The officer quarter, 2 beds, morale boost, and efficiency gains. So it gives you 2 extra beds. Really anything that gives you beds and more is a huge boost. So this all around is good, and then it also lowers your daily intake and outtake of resources. So or not intake, but the outtake, which right now you can see -2 a day on meds for the infirmary, -4 a day on food because of our survivors. 4.5 if you look closer there, you can see survivors eating -4.5. So it kind of decreases those daily limits that you're taking out. And the Cleo relay, build that sucker, gives you Cleo drops. Cleo drops have tons of resources in them. You literally call in the Cleo, it'll drop the stuff, but it also brings in waves of zombies that you have to take out. So that's pretty much everything. We can go over some of these smaller ones too. I think the main ones, beds, barracks is great. 4 beds though for 1 large outdoor slot, or if you play through the daybreak, get the bunk room, 5 slots, 1 small slot. Definitely worth that over something like this. But if you have the large slot outdoor and you have the space to put this in, it's a huge bonus. I mean, we start with 3 characters. That slot alone carries more characters than we have. But with this space, we have those +4 beds, so realistically, we don't need to worry about that. At this base, the extras I plan on doing, I'm probably going to do a workshop. I might do a garden since we have that gardener. Workshop's huge. That's our biggest thing. That's where we can fix our weapons, start making ammo, start gearing up for when we start getting guns and stuff. Start gearing up for taking out plague hearts. You can make bombs through here. That's a big plus. It makes the plague hearts easier to kill. And we'll go over plague hearts and stuff as we keep going and play through. For the most part though, that's most of the breakdowns here. I guess this first video is more so our starting out tutorial. So once we get to the next video, you guys, we'll start doing some wandering around, checking things out. We'll start doing some exploring. It's gonna want us, let's see, we've already got, yeah, it's gonna want us to go to the survey point. And then it looks like we already have a request from one of our characters, and I think it's just a main storyline. But all these little green slots on the map we see are all those freaks I was telling you about. You can see that's a feral, that's a bloater, that's a screamer. There's not a juggernaut here. The zombies, that's a horde of zombies. So that's a big group of them we saw when we first came in. It's hard to keep these cleared out, especially on this difficulty, but you kind of want to clear them out around your base. Make sure you don't end up bumping into them coming in and out of your base. The last thing you want is when you're running home with a bunch of loot to jump into a big group of zombies and run into all these feral freaks and all these different crazy zombies that are trying to kill you. So it sucks when you die right next to your base, that's for sure. But I think that'll wrap up this first video. We've got a few more things to talk about here, but we'll cover that in the next video. That way we can get on with the actual gameplay. The sooner we get done with the tutorial, the sooner we get done to the game, or get on to the gameplay. So thanks for watching, guys, and catch you on the next video.